Protests continue in Iran after the death of Mahsa Amini, 22-year-old who died in police custody under, I'll say, questionable circumstances. And what the regime in Iran could really use right now is to seem like they're taking this seriously as the protests continue into their 6th day with no sign of stopping. And yet that is not the approach that they are taking. And I wanna give you a little bit of a look into a Twitter thread that Christiane Amanpour released in the last day. So she said that they were planning to do an interview with President Raisi of Iran. They had been apparently planning it for like literally weeks of planning, 8 hours of setting up for it. He's gonna be his first ever interview on US soil during obviously a really important time for Iran. Doesn't show up initially for the interview, which is a little bit suspicious. 40 minutes into it, an aide comes over and tells Christiane Amanpour that the president was suggesting she wear a headscarf because it is the holy months in Iran. She politely declined, saying that this is New York, where there's no law or tradition regarding headscarves. Christiane pointed out that no previous Iranian president has required this when she has interviewed them outside of Iran. The aide made clear that the interview would not happen if she did not wear the headscarf, saying it was a matter of respect and referred to the situation in Iran, alluding to the protests. And so she did not give in. She walked away and the interview didn't happen. And you can see a shot from the interview. So while many people are in the streets about this woman dying, what the morality police did to her, they decided that rather than like going a little bit easy on a female journalist during this time, they're instead going to insist that people outside of Iran wear the headscarf, and when they don't, walk from the interview. Mondale, I feel like that is sending a very strong message, a message I find terrible and seems really poorly timed, but it's obviously intentional what they're doing here.
Yeah, this is talk about feeling outdated or making yourself seem extreme. You walk away from an interview with one of the top journalists in the world, and this moment about a headscarf. I think this just proves exactly what Amini's father said. They didn't let him see his daughter after she had passed. They only showed him her feet and head, and he saw bruises on her feet. This was not a heart attack. This government and the morality police need to go away. And I applaud the fact that majority of the protesters, from what we're learning, were women with their hair out, because you can't dictate morale, and when you try, this is what happens. This president really didn't read the tea leaves. Like, you walked into an interview, or like 40 minutes late to an interview, and you sent an aide to tell someone to cover up. Outdated. All of the problems with dictators were on display by walking away from Christiane Amanpour's interview. So I feel sad that our Iranian brothers and sisters are going through this with this morality police, and I think people are saying this is not gonna die easy. This is not gonna die down. People are not okay with what happened, and there's some extreme rhetoric that we're hearing right now in defense of Amini. Like, people are saying, if you killed our sister, we're gonna kill you, and that is a threat of dictatorship. And Iran, of course, is not the only country dealing with this type of pushback from trying to restrict, in this moment, what we're seeing as women, but in general about human rights and what people deserve. So I think this president has to be the dumbest person next to Trump at this moment as it pertains to interview.
Yeah, I don't know that people in Iran will see what happened with this interview and how it fell apart, especially because, as we were just talking about, the internet has been largely cut off. Again, this is what tyranny is. But yeah, it sends a message that there will be no accommodation, there will be no effort to bridge the divide, no diplomacy, and there's other reasons to believe that too. So 7 protesters have already been killed. And as the most recent update is that the Revolutionary Guards have called on the Islamic Republic's judiciary to prosecute, quote, those who spread false news and rumors about the death of Amini, We have requested the judiciary to identify those who spread false news and rumors on social media, as well as on the street, and who endanger the psychological safety of society, and to deal with them decisively. And so, okay, they're choosing violence. That's what they're choosing. This is a threat to the dictatorship, and they're saying we are going to go down with this thing if necessary. And I'm very worried about what will happen, Mondale. For all, like 7 people have died. At any moment, they could just unleash machine guns and start wiping out protesters. And that's my greatest fear, is the mass violence against protesters rather than the relatively targeted murder and assassination of protesters.
Yeah, and I think they have already started that, not with bullets, but they're shooting metal pellets directly at people in very close range. This is how some of the protesters have been murdered. The other ones have been beaten to death. So they absolutely have chose. Special Guard has already chose violence, and it's unbelievable the level people are willing to go. Mind you, that this woman's so-called crime was she had her hair out.
Yep,
she had her hair out. We are killing people. They are killing people because of hair.
Yeah, the morality police.
The morality police.
Yeah, which shouldn't exist. But if there was a justification for morality police, it would be to hunt down law enforcement that violates its sacred oath to protect and serve, and instead victimizes the very people that it should be serving. Unfortunately, that's not what we're seeing.